It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
And this is the Rebel Scum podcast.
Hey.
I'm Brock.
You're James.
Wait, no. You're James. I'm Brock.
I'm Brock. You're James.
That's right. I'm James. You're Brock. We're going to get this show started quickly. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hello. For the price of a coffee, you could support a young Porg, an Acho-To.
Okay, Brock, we haven't actually spoken about Porgs in a week. But since that week, let's just get right into this.
Yep.
I mean, we have a lot to talk about. The EW article came out, obviously. Netflix stuff. Hollow News is coming. Never Tell Me the Odds. Top 5. It's a great top 5. But before we get started, this EW article came out. There's a picture of a Porg in the Millennium Falcon with Chewie Chewbacca. And we know that there's going to be a kids book coming out called Chewie and the Porgs.
Yep.
And what do you make of all of this now?
I'm excited. As you know, I love Ewoks, so the similarity between the two, just from what we've seen, could be big. Or similarities. But since those pictures came out midweek this week, and the magazine issue came out on Friday, of course the internet has exploded about it. I mean, since we've seen Porgs, they've been all over, but now all of a sudden we get a third picture of a Porg, and people are like, I don't know anymore. Like,
well, I think it's because the Porg looks like it's flying the ship.
Yeah,
which I'm totally in for. I'm like,
that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, and then episode 9 should just be about the Porgs.
Like, let's just remember, like, the Millennium Falcon is a very large ship, and the Porgs are very small. At best, he's standing on the dashboard.
I think the idea here,
yeah.
And obviously I have no idea,
yep.
But I think the idea is that Luke and Rey are over there, Chewie's over here, and Chewie probably goes out because we've seen him by the campfire. And Porgs probably make their way in, and he's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? Like, I do Wookiee sounds as well as Ryan Johnson.
So, like the kids' book could be putting out what Chewie's doing by himself. Yeah. So maybe we come in and out of that in the movie. If Porgs have some kind of actual point in the movie besides just being fun little additions, great. If it makes sense, great. But for all we know, that Porg in the Millennium Falcon, they're flying along, and all of a sudden, bloop, I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, Porgs.
Yeah.
It compared to like Tribbles in Star Trek.
I feel like it's going to be Chewie's C-3PO and Empire Strikes Back moment where he's carrying him around. But the Porgs are that moment. It's like, exactly. Get over here, Porgs. And he's trying to like contain all of these Porgs and keep them in order.
Because since all like the pictures of Porgs and this Entertainment Weekly has come out, since that's come out, they've everything has exploded with merchandise.
Well, now there's a Porg like stuffed toy coming out.
There's a Porg Funko Pop.
But have you seen the Chewie Funko where he's holding a
Porg? Yes. So we can all just maybe calm down. I don't think anyone's really getting overly Porgs. I hate them. But I think some of the internet needs to settle down. This could just be a marketing ploy. We have to buy it because kind of
like C2B5.
Oh yeah, good lord. Remember him and all his fun adventures?
He was my favorite part of him and Two Tubes. When they're together, it's a great story.
Yeah, and the new BB9B.
It's BB9.
BB9B / HTML.
Which they're not really showing anything of that other than it's going to get a Funko. But I don't have to switch gears here. I obviously have been excited for Porgs for a while, like you. But since we've been talking about where we thought they were convors or whatever, and we were like, oh, this is going to be so cool. Now they're Porgs.
Yeah.
But the caretakers on the island.
Yes.
Are what I am more interested in.
Me too.
To be completely I am going to tweet out Porgs and talk all about Porgs all I can because they're cool. But the caretakers of Acho-To, Acho-To, Acho, whatever, those are what I am far more interested in.
Do you have the names? Like what they are?
I don't think they're given names. I think
are they just caretakers?
The caretakers, yeah. Pretty sure Ryan Johnson said they're the caretakers and they speak in like some kind of Scottish like jargon or something.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like if you can look that up just so we can be a source of information. But I will tell you my two reactions to that. One, I'm like, aha, the Porgs are not the caretakers. They've been lying to us. Or someone's just not understanding. Because there was talk of caretakers constantly. Maybe we were misreading it. I don't know. But somewhere in the last few months, Porgs, or the creatures of Porgs, whatever they were going to be, were like, those are the caretakers. And then like that squid monster, I feel like that's also a caretaker of Luke. To see them, that's interesting.
Yeah, Josh had an idea when I did the podcast with him on Friday. Was he said, "What if the sea creature is like, because they're all female, all the caretakers?
Yes, yeah.
What if the sea creature is the male one?
Right.
Good idea like that.
And they're the ones that carry they're like penguins or seahorses, where they carry the children for a while. But the second thing was, these caretakers are humanoid. We don't know if we're going to be able to understand them, or I think there would be some kind of communication between them and Luke. But that's really cool, because up until this point, I'm like, Luke is living on Acho-To in a cave by himself, but he's not. So there's other people on this planet. That is very interesting to me.
So they are just caretakers. They're known as caretakers.
There's
Ryan
no
Johnson.
names?
No. So for those of you who have not read the article, Ryan Johnson goes on to say they're kind of these sort of fish bird type aliens who live on the island. They've been there for thousands of years, and they essentially keep up the structures on the island. They're all female, and I wanted them to feel like a remote sort of little nunnery. Neil Scanlon's crew designed them, and costume designer Michael Kaplan made these working clothes that also reflected sort of a nun-like Spartan sort of existence. And then he goes on to say, he describes their language as a blubbery sort of Scottish fish talk, and they don't really care for Luke Skywalker hanging around, but they tolerate him.
That's awesome. So that also says to me that like there is a lot of like structures on Acho-To. It's not just, oh, here's a temple. There's enough to require a race of beings to take care of them.
Apparently they have bird feet. And they do retreat back to the water. Apparently, he makes it sound like we will not see them retreat to the water, but you get the sense that they do go to the water.
They almost look like
awesome,
like old costumes from the show Dinosaurs.
Yes, not the mom.
They look like kind of like tapirs, like actual animals. Or no, actually, they kind of look like turtles. Now that I look at it for the fifth time, like they look like that head should be popping on them. But that's fantastic. Like, I love it.
That's interesting. They're wearing a necklace, right?
So yeah, they're like legit humanoid. Oh. See, this is what I love about Star Wars. It's like, here's a picture of something, and you're like, oh, this means this, and this. And like, that's fantastic. Like, it's whoever markets for Star Wars is a friggin' genius.
Well, they're the best of the best.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even though there is things that are being leaked, they're not like, they're so minuscule that like knowing them before what we got in this, like a lot of the stuff, like, you know, the sea monster creature or what Rey's wearing or what Luke's wearing, that's great. Or like that, you know, there's gonna be lightsaber fights or some these choreography. Like if we hadn't known months ago, it doesn't really affect it. Oh yeah, there it is. Like it's and it's not that profound. It's like, oh, they're gonna do fighting. No, shoot, it's I didn't curse. It's Star Wars. That war is in the title. So
whoa,
I know, spoilers. But yeah, like Entertainment Week, all those pictures. Like, I love this now. I love the fact that when these movies come out, you're like, you gotta look forward to a Vanity Fair and you gotta look forward to an Entertainment Weekly where you're gonna see these things. Another thing that was shown in the Entertainment Weekly, which isn't new information, and we're kind of I'm probably spoiling one of the news stories about this, but the Praetorian Guards, very interesting, very cool, and they very easily could be, when we saw the choreography of Rey with two other people, like we assume lightsaber or staff fighting, those could have been Praetorian Guards, because the guards look like they're meant for battle, right? So, but here's my thought on it. Now that we've heard about it and now we are visually seeing a picture, I'm not super psyched about it. Like, I'm just like, yeah, cool. But like everyone's like, ooh, look at this, and like toys. But I'm not. I must say, I'm. When I saw it in the Entertainment Weekly when they finally released those pictures, I'm like, I don't know what your thoughts were.
Yeah. I was like, there's Star Wars. Like, I didn't wasn't excited like I was about the Porgs or the Caretakers or some of the other things that we saw. It just they are going to be evil henchmen. I like my stormtroopers.
So I feel like maybe they're gonna move away from Knights of Ren, and that's what they're gonna. That's gonna be the main fighting person for like Luke or.
So you don't think Knights of Ren are gonna be?
I want it to happen, but I'm worried that like maybe this is the psych out because it's like, well, these guys can do hand to hand, and that's what you need. You need someone to fight them.
We've heard rumors that the Knights of Ren are going to make their way to Acho-To, but what if the Knights of Ren have already been killed?
Yeah, I don't know.
Although Snoke does say that Kylo is the leader of the Knights of Ren.
That being said, I could be totally wrong. I'm just sharing my vibe on it, and it's again that's what I love about it. I had all these emotions from these pictures. Like it's fantastic.
I hope it's not one of those things where J.J. Abrams created the Knights of Ren for no real reason other than in Force Awakens, other than it sound really cool for Kylo Ren to be the leader of the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
Then Rian Johnson takes it and goes, I really don't have a place for this, so I'm just going to pretend they don't exist. And then J.J. Abrams hears that, and he's like, but no, they have to. Yeah. He's like, nah, I don't really have a place. And then J.J. Abrams is like, what spin-off do you want to see? He goes, the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
Just
exactly
fuel to fire there. So we're going to talk more about the EW article, but before we get to that, a piece of info drop about Netflix and Disney and how Disney will be pulling out of Netflix in 2019. Now there is new talk that Netflix is trying to renegotiate a deal with Disney to keep Marvel and Star Wars around, but I guess the cartoons, they've pretty much given up on all of that.
Right.
Totally makes sense to me. Everybody's making their own streaming sites.
Yeah.
It's going to get very pricey to start watching things on your tablets and whatnot going forward. What do you think?
I wasn't surprised when I saw it. I was still like, oh, like I wasn't like, I knew it. But like, I was sort of not surprised when I saw the article because I sent it to you immediately. And I don't know if I said it on the show or to you in person. I was like, what is stopping Disney from having a streaming site? Because they own a lot of things. And it's an interesting part of the article, too, was talking about a ESPN streaming. Does Disney own ESPN as well?
Yep.
That's insane. Like, that's what a lot... I work in broadcasting. Well, we sort of both do. But, like, that's our backgrounds. And I talk about this stuff quite a bit. And I think it's you who said it quite a bit. Like, the second that they can get a proper streaming platform for sports...
Yeah.
Conventional TV is over
and this year,
as what it is.
Thursday Night Football will have some games on Amazon. I think that's a huge test.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, like, that's... And I'm not saying TV is dead. Like, it's evolving. It's becoming the streaming service.
Yeah, people like to think that TV's dead, but it's not dead. It's turning into something else. But the problem is television networks are so far behind the ball.
Yeah, it's insane.
And we have all moved forward with our Netflix and our HBO. I just got HBO, by the way, and HBO Go. And
you finally got it?
Yeah, she wore me down. We
you know what?
She's watched...
you might enjoy it. There's tons of stuff
I don't
on
watch anything. She watches... she's watched like 5 shows on it.
Yeah, but you just got it.
No, she's already like binging.
Oh, she's already through it.
She's like, well, this show's already been on, so I'm gonna binge watch. And she's like, how do you do it? And I have to figure it out. But I was more excited about DuckTales and Disney XD.
Yeah.
I PVR'd it.
Nice.
We have PVR, not DVR.
Same thing.
Anyway,
I don't know why we call it that, but we do.
Yeah, I don't know what it stands for.
But I looked it up once. I can't remember. I mean, this is the one
video recorder.
Is it?
I don't know.
I think it's one problem. Like, our American listeners will be like, what are they complaining about? Because they do have Hulu. Americans have embraced it a lot more. And also, American networks have a lot of access to different things. But it's like, it's not the matter of like we're using the internet to watch this stuff now. It's the fact that what's making it popular is that you can watch it whenever you want. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to PVR. You just... Netflix takes things off all the time. But anyways.
But what's the difference between satellite, cable, and streaming now? Like they're all television.
Almost nothing.
If you watch it on your TV set, it's television, right? So
I would argue that the only difference is that you don't have to do anything. With like a Netflix, you're like, oh, there it is. Boop. Yeah, but like if you were to PVR, you're like, I gotta look it up, blah, 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 which isn't a lot of like it.
No, you have not seen what Aaron PVRs.
Oh yeah,
we have something like 60 hours of space, and it's filled
And see, because I stream more,
800 hours.
I don't PVR. I barely PVR at all. That's the thing.
I watch DuckTales.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
It's interesting. So total side Akbar on that one, but it's important. Like it would. I think the whole point is like Disney would almost be, for lack of a better term, stupid not to make their own streaming service because they generate a lot of content. Why would they want to? They don't want to compete with Netflix, and I get why Netflix wants them to stay because it's like we don't want to compete with you.
But the thing is, Disney also has Disney XD, and so they're like, we're gonna put our and I'm comparing now the streaming to cable. Yeah. So on your cable satellite, whatever, you have your Disney XD. Yeah. So Disney already has a special channel, and they decided to put like Rebels. They're like Rebels will only be on there.
Yeah.
So there's no real difference now with what they're doing, except you get that in a package. And so now, I don't know how it is for anybody that has the Hulu and all that, but if you got $7.99, $9.99, $12.99, everything starts to add up. Now, at some point, that's got to add up to more than your cable bill, and you're going to get less. Right?
Well, I would hope at some point, if there's so many, that cable companies would just start packaging it. Well, they wouldn't be cable companies, they would be internet companies.
But here, our cable companies are internet companies.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I agree. I know what you're saying. I don't know, man.
Are you gonna get if we can get it here because we can't get anything here? Thing. Would you get the Disney streaming?
I don't know because it's like I don't watch that stuff that much on Netflix. Like,
what if they were like, "Hey, Brock, if you want to watch Daredevil and
see, okay, that's very good point. Because I was just, as I said, I was going to say, like, of course I watched Clone Wars and Rebels. So that would be incentive for me to be
And then what if they're like, also get our service because starting in 2019, the first show out of the gate, the first new show made specifically for our channel is Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to be like,
yeah, I mean, we also remember that it's not Star Wars specific.
No, but they're going to try to entice you, right? So they're going to be like, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you this, we're going to give your kids this, and this.
But you make a good point. Like the Daredevil, Luke Cage, like the Defender stuff, that alone, that'd be a massive hit for Netflix. Because it's like, that's exclusively for Netflix. Well,
yeah, they would have the old seasons, but Disney would probably just be like...
Exactly, so like...
Once it's over, we're taking the new one.
I haven't watched a bad episode of Daredevil, so I would want to continue watching.
4 or 3 to 5. I started watching Castlevania.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to watch it.
They're 25-minute episodes. There are 4 of them.
The cartoons, right?
And I made it to episode... I'm on episode 3. I still can't... Even when it's 25 minutes, I can't do it. I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. Whew, I gotta go. And then I'm out of there. I'm like, oh.
But you know what? Like, Netflix made a revolutionary move when they started streaming. But we don't want them on top because if you have one company on top, then nothing changes. It stays the same. And we also, Netflix is in financial trouble.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, that's another reason why they wouldn't want Disney to open it because it's like, now we have a bigger competition for one of the biggest media companies.
But they still have their Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. But like,
and they have, by the way, Ozark and Okja. Those two names are very similar. And Daryl was like, your roommate Daryl was like, I'm watching this. And I thought he was watching the one with that elephant thing. But he was watching the Jason Bateman one. And we were having completely different conversations about what's going on. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah, I haven't watched either. Well, I started watching Okja, or I don't even think I'm pronouncing it. But I stopped because I like to play video games while I watch things.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of subtitles in it. So I'm like, okay, I have to be focused on this, which is not a complaint against anything. It's the same with Narcos. Narcos is a fantastic show, but like it's half in Spanish. So you're like, you have to read what's going on.
I have seen the season of Entourage where he makes Medellin.
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
I have not seen Narcos, but I have seen that, so I think I'm good. Let's get back to.
Anyways, so that's huge. So hopefully they figured out something and we get it.
All right, let's talk about The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. What is that?
This is the Netflix show.
Oh, boom!
This is the movie where you find out that a Porg is the last of the Jedi.
It's all the fever dream of a Porg.
Okay. Wait, I think we have an Never Tell Me the Odds that I like coming up, but I'm not sure. All right. So anyway, this EW article came out.
Yep.
Cover. Which cover do you like better, the Luke or the Rey cover? If you're at the bookstore and they have both of them in front of you, which one do you buy?
The Luke one.
100% Luke.
It looks like, oh, that's good.
The Rey one's nice, but the Luke one is like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a spicy move.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so we also got an article on your favorite character.
Oh, which one? Poe. Oh, yeah.
Poe Dameron was mentioning this because of his role with Princess Leia. Did you read that part of the article?
No, because I wanted to get it and read it in real life. But I skimmed it. I know that there is a lot of talk about the relationship he has with Princess Leia in it. I don't have much to say on it unless you can enlighten me on what it was.
I'll just tell you the quote that is in here about it, okay?
Oh, is it? Because I saw the pictures and the quotes about it.
That picture's pretty bad. So her character, to some degree or another, has been defined by loss through the whole saga.
Right.
Starting with the loss of her home planet, she's just taken hit after hit, and she's borne it. And she focuses on moving forward and the task at hand, says writer-director Rian Johnson.
Yep.
And then... anyone who expected the Resistance to fill the void of the Republic being blown up would be mistaken. No, not at all. They're a small band that's now cut off on its own and hunted when the Republic is shattered. When the First Order did that hit, the Resistance is isolated and they're very, very vulnerable. That's where we pick them up. Mm-hmm. So I still feel like this movie could potentially start at the moment when Rey leaves the Resistance base on Qatar, and like it takes place, it'll start in between that moment and her arriving in it, because we don't know how long it'll take.
Qatar or Dakar?
Dakar.
Okay.
Qatar is where the World Cup's happening.
I thought you said Qatar.
I think I did. I was talking about that with Daryl about soccer the other day. So it's just
Dakar,
not Qatar.
Yeah.
Where it's also no, Qatar is saying Dakar's not saying.
Guitar.
And guitars have
guitars.
Anyway, I think it's going to take place in between that time right there.
Yeah. I think so too. I was thinking about it myself. I think it'll open with them on Acho-To, and something will happen, and then we'll get the crawl, and then it'll be like the end of the crawl's like a few months later or whatever. So maybe we'll jump ahead a little bit and then go straight into this attack on the Resistance base. I don't know where we're going.
Well, I'm going to go on with
But I do like that, and that's kind of a vital part of the Poe Dameron comic, that like the Resistance is just barely hanging on, which is very interesting, because it's like you watch. I guess not. I mean, that's a constant in the original trilogy, but like the rebellion wins. They set up a new republic, and then if you've read Bloodline, you understand that there's fractions in that, because the problem about democracy and freedom is people tend to not agree with it, and then sometimes it goes a little too far, and that's how the First Order ideally is going to spring up. Hopefully we get a little bit more detail on that in the movie. So the Resistance is now like, oh god, it's going to get bad again, because they know about the First Order, right? Yeah. So it's very interesting to see, like, they were like, yay! Oh shoot, we're back to normal. Is that a good move? I don't hate it, because that is the fun thing about the original movies, that they're on the bottom, but at the same note,
well, everyone roots for an underdog.
Exactly. And then also you want to bring people back in, so it's like, okay, this is what you like, here you go, you understand this, now we're going to do crazy stuff.
Yeah, because in The Force Awakens you don't have to know anything about anything. You're just like, here's the good guys, here's the bad guys.
Yeah,
they're called Resistance now, they're called the First Order now, and you know what, I would bet you just some average guy that walked in, or a woman that walked into the theater, watched, and they're like, you know what, the Empire is still bad, like, and they don't really care. It doesn't, like, the backstories of all that does not matter to a lot of people. They don't care, because I know there was a lot of complaint that they didn't deal with the politics enough in The Force Awakens.
Right.
But you know, when you watch the original trilogy, the politics are like as talked about almost as much as they are in The Force Awakens. Like, it's not a big deal. The prequels kind of brought that onto us. And people, and they were trying to stay away from that side of Star Wars, because that's the side of Star Wars I think Lucasfilm really feels that people kind of feel separate from, is the political aspect of it. But Rian Johnson did support Bloodline a lot with the notes and whatnot, and you know, with Laura Dern's role in Canto Bight, it seems like politics will be having more of a
And we see a lot of, or not, to go along with that idea, the mention of DJ, Benicio del Toro's character. They could talk more about it, I think, from what I read on the article from the Entertainment Weekly, where it's like, he's a coder, he's a slicer, he's sort of
which I have to say,
on
Andrew Fantasia called that on our Benicio del Toro episode.
That's awesome, because I was like, wait a second, where did we hear this? Because I was like, we've talked about this.
Yeah, Andrew was like, I think he's a slicer.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, like, he's I guess you could fit that into sort of like the black market sort of underbelly, something that you would see in a Han Solo smuggling movie sort of thing. So that's very cool. And so and I mean, our villains and our heroes are very ambiguous as far as what we've been saying in the last couple of last year or so. Is Rey the good guy or the bad guy? Is Kylo the good guy or the bad guy? It's like they look like they should be good, but it's very. The end of Force Awakens, you're like, what's next? What's going to happen? And then, Luke being in Last Jedi, and he's like, he's not the hero, or you shouldn't meet your heroes, and the Jedi's at the end is like, what's going to happen? So I think, and we've said this before, this movie's going to be a lot of so you have to do Force Awakens the way they did it, because they're like, here it is, remember this? Now let's turn it on its head. So I'm psyched.
Let's go right into the Rey and Luke, because apparently they've been saying that now that Rey had that Han was kind of like her surrogate father in a lot of ways, and now Luke is like the don't look at me kind of guy. And it's almost like a role reversal from what you would expect from those two. But how do you feel about Luke coming across that way?
I like it. I mean, we don't know all the ins and outs of it yet. But I'm like, that's very, very cool. Because for a character like Luke to just leave his family and the cause he supports and just disappear without an explanation, something big has happened to him. And personality, it very easily could be a personality change.
Look, if something happened to me and I vanished and the Caretakers and Porgs were with me, I probably wouldn't come back either, because they're freaking awesome.
Also... Sidebar, Akbar. Do you like how they're making alien? This is not new, but there's something about the new aliens they're creating in this that they wear human clothes. If you the Caretakers, they're like, it feels like they're like, we found human clothes and we put them on. Of course they're humanoid, but even the Canto Bight characters, they're wearing suits. They look like,
that's because they're ritzy.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean? They look like, we met humans. This is what a human wears to a fancy place. So we went. It was never. I mean, you see that in
no, sorry.
You know what I mean?
No, but you know what's cool about that is the Empire was all humans. He didn't have any aliens in the Empire.
So
maybe they're seeing that come down. That's
actually,
a great
you're
point.
right. They mentioned that. That's right.
Yeah, that's a great point right there.
It's stupid. I mean, you could look at the Mos Eisley Cantina. They're all wearing clothes. They're humanoid. But you know what I mean? There's just something about this design that it just doesn't look like something even you pointed out the necklace on the Caretakers. It feels very human. I don't know.
It's a circle. The necklace is a circle. It's a circle necklace, right? It's not
But I've seen that. It's a circle.
Could that represent something? Is what
I definitely think it would. Yeah.
Well, eventually it will. We're going to get a book, and 100 writers will be on it. It'll be Tales of Acho-To.
But another crucial thing that was mentioned in this Entertainment Weekly article, which I believe was by Mark Hamill, he referred to Kylo as the chosen one.
Stop it.
Or he thought was the chosen one.
Yeah.
I don't want to skip ahead, but we're talking about Rey and Luke right now.
He says that he trained this kid that he believed was the chosen one.
Right.
And I did the video with Josh on Friday, and I'll just mention briefly what I mentioned there is that we have Anakin so we'll do this chronologically, not how the films go. Anakin is the believed chosen one by Qui-Gon, and the council is like, well, he's the chosen one. And then he's going to bring balance to the Force, yada, yada, yada. And then Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi duel it out on Rebels, and Darth Maul says, is he the chosen one? Obi-Wan Kenobi says he is. Pablo Hidalgo then said that he was wrong. I believe that Obi-Wan Kenobi, at that moment in time, feels that Anakin Skywalker was not the chosen one. He was misled, but this boy, being his offspring, is the chosen one. So now we flash forward to the new trilogy, the sequel trilogy, and whether or not it's spoken in the film, I don't know, obviously. But now you have Luke Skywalker believing that the grandson now is the chosen one, because you've had Anakin Skywalker supposed to bring balance to the Force, which he did. 2 Jedi, 2 Sith.
Yeah.
But then he corrupted that because of love.
Yeah.
So then the Force is not balanced anymore. There's only that. And then Kylo comes, and now Luke believes he's the one that's going to rebalance the Force. And in a way, he kind of does, where there's the dark side and the light side now, because he's the dark side. There's Luke, but then there's Snoke. So I don't know where Snoke is.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. And I think, you know what could happen in all of this is that prophecy could be around. Josh also brought up a cool point where he thinks Snoke could be the one that creates that prophecy, like 1,000 years ago.
That'd be interesting.
And feeds it into the minds of the Jedi. I forget where I was going with that.
Yeah, but like,
because I went on the Josh tangent. Because I think the Snoke idea is really cool.
Yeah.
But what if Luke, he discovers that the chosen one is not actually a thing? It's more of a test for the Jedi in a lot of ways.
Right.
And there is no real chosen one, and he has to just accept that.
I just find it interesting because even though we all assume there'd be a chosen one, because
we thought it was
easy
Rey,
to assume,
which it could
Rey.
Still very well be.
But I had a reaction when I read that. I'm like, oh, this is... I don't know if it's officially the first time they've used it in reference to Last Jedi.
Yeah, I think it is.
But I was sort of like... I'll accept it, but like, I kind of was like, I don't really need a chosen one anymore.
What if Anakin is just the chosen one? There's no other chosen one. It's Anakin, but then he had these kids, and then these kids had kids, and now Luke, just because of what he's heard from Yoda and Obi-Wan and all that, he just thinks that Ben is the chosen one. And maybe Anakin was the Force Ghost saying, don't do this. This is not the path you should do. And Luke's like, no, I know what I'm doing. We're going to do it. What if he's, even at that point, he's like, we're going to do it differently.
Yeah.
Because we're going to use our emotions. Because Jedi aren't supposed to use their emotion. We're going to use our emotion.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't do it. And then that's what actually happens, is that he's like, use your emotion, feel it, and then we go, because we know from the dialogue with Rey that he says, what do you see? She goes, the light in the dark. And he's like, they're accepting that almost. So what if that's where he went wrong with Ben? He let Ben kind of deal with his emotions too much, and maybe this is the opposite of what I've been saying for weeks, but what if he's learning that the Jedi order, the Jedi way with no love and all that was actually the right way to go about it. Right. Don't hate me on that. I don't think that's actually going to be it, but that's just an idea.
What I think we need is an investigation into what the prophecy actually says. Now, we've seen in the first teaser trailer, no, that's a full trailer that was released at Celebration, we see what looks like books and a hand looking through these books, and we see the Jedi logo, whatever, emblem. Yeah. I'm okay with the chosen one. That's fine. That's not even a Star Wars thought up thing. That is just a fantasy sci-fi. That's just a trope. That's totally understandable. If you have it, great. You don't have to explain it. But I think the problem is we've never gotten full explanation. It's like, this is the chosen one that will bring back balance to the Force. What does that mean? Balance is we will vanquish our enemies.
And that could be the Grey.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a lot of things. And maybe Luke, as we keep talking about, we think he's gone and looked for things. And in the upcoming Star Wars ongoing, he goes to Jeddah. So I'm not saying that might be important to the movie, but it makes sense to send Luke on a pilgrimage to find Jedi or even Sith items so he can learn, because he's by himself and he has to figure this all out. So maybe this discovery of the actual prophecy was like, oh, it's this.
Yeah. And
then he could have a cool ghost Jedi or Force Ghost conversation with Yoda and be like, you knew about this. And he's like, yes, but da-da-da-da. That'd be so in for that.
Yeah, I really, we've heard the rumors that Yoda's going to be in this, but what capacity? What is the point of it's why is Yoda in the movie is the question asked. Yeah. It's not, it's cool to see Yoda.
But why it's interesting, right? Because from what we know, Luke tried to set up a new Jedi Order, and then something happened, probably because of Ben Solo. But just to think Ben is the next chosen one, or the new chosen one. Why? Explain. I
think honestly it's just Luke, and I think it's just Mark Hamill's interpretation of it. Maybe is that Luke thinks Ben Solo is the chosen one.
Yeah.
Because someone needs to bring balance to the Force, and Luke was never arrogant enough to think that it would be him.
Yeah.
Right? And the other question is, why would he even know that? Because he doesn't know that Anakin was the chosen one. But
or maybe we're being over dramatic on the term chosen one. It's like, this is the new generation. This is the root of our new generation of Jedi. And maybe it's something as simple as that. It's like, this is the person that will start down the path and have the Jedi be reborn, or a force-wielding group reborn. I don't know. Very interesting. So it's just, I don't want to beat this like a dead horse, but I love it. Like, it's just simple. They're not revealing a thing about the movie, but they're like, it's this and that. I'm like, yes, that means so many things. And I could be totally wrong. Like, we could be completely wrong about what we're saying right now. It's
we've
amazing.
never been wrong.
That's true. That should be a t-shirt. It's like, Scum Podcast is never wrong.
You know what? 2 tubes, Benquadaneros, Watto, Porgs, Caretakers.
Buddy cop movie.
You know what? This is The Force Awakens. We didn't get cool aliens like this. We got aliens, but not like this. These are like, I want to watch these aliens.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, and I'm not putting Force Awakens down, but you know, let's before we move on to Never Tell Me the Odds, I want to talk to you about Maz Kanata. Maz Kanata. Apparently, her role is even smaller than it was in The Force Awakens.
Really?
Here's my take on this, though. Maz Kanata was cool and fine and whatever, but I never felt like her purpose was fully realized in The Force Awakens. It's like she's there just because Rey needs to get the lightsaber.
Yeah.
There's no other reason for it. Her character is not developed in any which way. She asked that stupid question, who's the girl, which we never find an answer for.
Yeah.
It's like the dumbest thing to put in a movie. Like, honestly, she should have asked the question. Han should have said, no. Like, just do that. Like, give me an accept.
Yeah.
Like, let me
She's a
accept
sand
it.
rat, I found.
Yeah, and so she has a lightsaber, and that's really the only reason why she's in the movie. They digitally like took her out of the last half of it because she was supposed to be with them on the ship and on Dakar and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently they took her out of it. So anyway, I
And
know
then they put a mustache back on Rey.
yeah, I just felt like she was, even for me, even more than Phasma, she was a letdown because I felt like her role was just to make it easy for the characters to get something that they needed to get.
Yeah.
Like, I think it even would have been cooler if Rey found the lightsaber like in a stone, like King Arthur or something, and like pulled it up. But like it says, she's like, "I've got this. She's just calling to you because lightsaber is now apparently called to you." I guess. I don't know. Never happened before.
I mean, Kyber crystals kind of have
Yeah.
done that in the past, so that's an easy. Yeah, you don't need Maz Kanata.
Exactly. Like so, but now her role is even smaller. Rock.
That sucks. I want to know more about her. She's a very interesting character, and like we've said before, characters like her and like the Bendu from Rebels, where they're like, they're not Jedi, they're not Sith, they're just aware, they're force sensitive. I want to explore that way more.
But in the movie, she's not really force sensitive. She just knows the force. So because there was the lead scene where she did it. So what is interesting? I have to ask you, what do you find interesting about her character?
Oh, she's funny. But like, okay, I get, yeah, she doesn't use the force. But one thing I did read recently, it's like, and it's canon, I believe. I read it on the internet, so who knows if it's true. But even in the time of like the Clone Wars, most people in the galaxy had never seen and I think almost the same amount of people had either seen or heard of a Jedi or a Sith. I mean, Sith obviously because they were hidden, but like the whole Jedi, just the Force in general, it's so vague to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So maybe that alone, like, yes, maybe Maz never actually uses the Force, but she's aware of it. Oh, does she?
Yeah, the cave comes down, and I think, or does she bring?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
she brings down stormtroopers, or she holds it. I can't remember, but anyway.
But like, I like that idea because it's like we've seen it in books and comics and TV shows, but the regular just movie watchers like, oh, only these people can use Force. Like, no, the Force isn't. It doesn't pick and choose. I guess it kind of does, but you know what I mean. It's not an exclusive club. It's something you can be aware of if you are at some point of enlightenment, right?
If you have enough midichlorians.
Exactly. So it's like you don't have to be a Jedi or Sith again. So I would love to explore that. That sucks that she's out of it because she's.
Oh, she's not out of it. It's just a smaller role. But he says that it is a very fun role.
Of course,
he says it's very. Fun.
She's like, I like that Wookiee. That wins
Best
you
scene.
over immediately.
And that's That's one of my favorite scenes. But she just doesn't really. I feel like he was given this character, and he had to bring her back in it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where does she? I mean, obviously I don't know the story, but where does she fit in? Because she's at this remote planet.
Yeah.
With a bar that got destroyed.
Is it remote though? Because it's a bar. You know what I mean? Like,
look, I don't know.
It is weird because it's like in the middle of a forest on a lake.
Yeah.
But then it's a bar. Whatever.
Like, I don't know. It's Star Wars. Boom.
Boom. Never tell me the odds.
This week's odds are brought to you by Coruscant.
Coruscant.
Not Coruscant. That's from the
That's true.
Shadows of the Empire novelization novel audiobook. He says, the reader says Coruscant.
Nice.
According to Rob McDonald. All right, here we go. Ready? The first odd, this is a shocker. The first odd is the odds of Porgs being received better than Ewoks.
I'm gonna go full Brock on this one because like it's hard to say. Ewoks are fun because they can fight back. Porgs, we don't know what they can do yet.
No, received by like critics and audiences though, like because critics hated Ewoks, right? And like
true.
the older generation hated Ewoks. So where do you think that's gonna fit in? Full Brock.
I'm still gonna go full Brock because we don't know what the Porgs are gonna do.
I do.
They could just be fun little birds that are just everywhere, right? Like they're not, or
The
it
island
could turn out that like they are cognizant of things and they are a vital plot point. I don't know.
They are Acho-To.
They are. They all group together and they create the Megazord.
Yeah, woo.
Go to the Krispy Kreme.
I'm also gonna go full Brock on that one because I think I think if it is just the Porgs pissing off Chewie for like 10 minutes, people would be like, I don't like the Porgs. I will be like, that is the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
So it can go either way, I think. And, but if they do play a plot point, then it gets tricky because then how do people feel about them?
I would kind of, maybe this is me thinking this. I would equate them more to Jawas. Because it's sort of like, Jawas are important, but like they're kind of not, like they're just, they are.
But they already had Tito.
Yeah, exactly. Tito was saying.
Freaking
Anyways.
Tito. Next odd, the odds of Wicket being in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I remember reading this. Because we have talked about that, like, it has been mentioned that Endor, we will see Endor in Last Jedi. That was, if it makes the final cut, who knows? But if you go to Endor, even for 5 minutes, you just, Chief Wicket, you just see him, and you're like, we're okay. Or even they get a message from him, like, no, not Utini, that's Jawas, but like, Yub Nub. But he can talk because Sindel, a.k.a. Phasma, taught him how to speak English.
I'm going 101%.
I'm going to go 85 because let's not get crazy here.
I'm so wrong because he's not going to. But we know
so
Warwick
amazing.
Davis is going to be in it. And they have not even shown it, like, has speculated or anything. Because when he did Rogue One, he goes, I got to use a blaster. Like, way before the movie came out, he's like, I got to use a blaster. Yeah. We don't know who he's going to play. He might just be someone on Canto Bight, for all we know. But I think they would have revealed that in the Vanity Fair pictures. They would have had maybe Warwick.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe not. But if he's Wicket, how
that's why
awesome
they haven't
would
revealed
it be if he's just Wicket?
He can be multiple things.
I'm holding out for.
Oh, God, that'd be amazing.
And our final odd, the odds of us being right on that last, the odds of Captain Rex being the rebel soldier in Return of the Jedi, because this is the biggest flip flop of all time.
Oh my God, I don't understand. Like, I thought this was a bigger thing like a couple months ago that Rex
is like a year ago, I think.
Was it a year ago?
It was a long time ago.
And it's like, it's a cool idea. I'm all for it. Cool, that's Rex. Done. And I think, I don't know if it's real, but I've seen animation of Rex from Rebels Season 4, and he looks like what he looks like in Endor.
Yeah, because at Celebration, people were saying, we were not at the Dave Filoni panel, but on the Dave Filoni panel, that's when they first revealed that look of Rex. Right. And the word was, Filoni just announced, he just confirmed that. But he said that months before, too. Like, he's been saying this for a while. Yeah. But at Celebration, it seemed like that was a firm confirmation.
But, like, this whole drama in the last week, it wasn't with Dave Filoni. It was with someone else.
Oh, really?
Some name I've never recognized. But, it
was a Rex.
100%. Let's do it. Why not? Who cares? Like, it doesn't make a difference. It's not like you're like, well, now we can go make a movie about Rex.
I'm going to agree with you 100%. Mm-hmm. I went 101% for Wicket being so I think there's a better chance of Wicket being in Last Jedi. But I think, why not just make him that rebel soldier?
I mean, yeah, you couldn't really go back because if he's old during the Battle of Endor and then 30 years pass, we're never going to see him again. But it would be kind of cool to have the actor who played Django.
Yeah.
I always forget his name. But to then somehow have him do Rex live action because he's roughly the age that is necessary and just grows a beard and shaves his head. Like, that would be so cool. But anyways,
I'm totally down.
But it's amazing. This is what the power of Star Wars. We're like such a minute detail.
Yeah. And we're talking about
excruciating. Anyways, books and/or comics.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking beside me and I see that you have some comics to talk about.
I went to the comic book store.
Take it away.
All right. I mentioned last week I read Poe Dameron, but then I couldn't remember anything. But here we are, Poe Dameron. It's a new storyline, and it's bringing back the character that they introduced about, 5 issues ago. Sura Linda, who was like a reporter that knew Poe, and they thought she was going to leak information. So now she's going to be part of the Black Squadron because they've lost the Durian guy. I always forget the names. Sorry, guys. I never write these names down. But it's cool. They go on a mission, and I forget where it goes. They're chasing after... they're looking for Odie Ness, who turns out to be the actual mole because he was trying to save his wife. So now both Black Squadron and the First Order are chasing after him, and craziness is going to ensue. But great issue. I won't reveal much more than that. The art, it's still Charles Soule. I always mispronounce his name. He's a great writer. But Angel and Zoeda, I don't know if he or she did the issue with Sura Linda originally, but the art in it is amazing. So if you want to start on it, this is great because I hope the art continues. Like she kind of looks like a Na'vi from James Cameron's movie with 3D. Avatar, thank you. So if you haven't seen what Sura Linda, that's what she kind of looks like. But the art is just fantastic. And it also brings up a fact that now with Rose being a new character in Last Jedi, and a lot of mention of her sister, who is the one of the gunners who we see in the trailer, named Paige. I think you and I were talking about one point. We're confusing it with the Asian pilot from Force Awakens, which is Jess. So I'm very interested to see if we'll see any of these characters of the Black Squadron in the new one, because they didn't die. Or pretty sure they didn't die. I mean, Snap is still around. Jess, I believe, is around. Sorry, I should rewatch Force Awakens. But
we will do it. We're gonna do a commentary on it
because it would be a lot of fun if Rose and Jess were siblings, because Jess is kind of a big character in this, and there is a point where she's remembering her family, and there's 2 Asian kids there. Well, the whole family's Asian, or whatever equates for Asian in the Star Wars galaxy. So that would have been fun, but now looking it up, it's not going to be the case. Anyways, it's a great issue. I love Poe Dameron. Yeah. Also, we reported on this a couple months ago. Cassian and K2SO came out this week and just sort of explained how they meet and how Cassian reprograms K2SO. It's not an overly complex story because it's basically they're trying to steal a Star Destroyer or parts of a Star Destroyer, and Cassian's plan is to reprogram one of the security droids to mess with the stormtroopers, or stormtroopers. I was going to say First Order, but that's not right. Stormtroopers, so that they can get in and out and do all that. So basically, it's exactly what you would expect for a story about those 2 characters, where he doesn't have full control over K2SO because he's still got his old programming. It's a lot of that where he all of a sudden just says, "I don't know who you are, so I will detain you. You will die now." It's a fun story. Doesn't reveal a ton. It's If it's a one-off, cool. Though there is a number 1 on this, so I don't know if they're going to make a series of it. I thought it was a one-off, but pick it up if you want to know a little bit more about Rogue One. I would argue that if you love the movie, you should see it. And then Dr. Aphra, issue number 11 came out, still continuing this sale of the Jedi mind and the jewel roar, and he's taken over a bunch of droids. So people are dying, and Triple Zero? Yeah, 000 is like trying to make a deal with Aphra while this is all happening. Not a ton happens. I feel like the story is kind of lagging. The art is beautiful, and there's cool characters. Like there's this cool Rhodian with like a eye patch, and he makes a deal with one of the Hutts that are there. But the big reveal at the end, and not a huge reveal because we knew it was coming, but the OG Sith Lord Darth Vader makes an appearance at the end. This is the first time that Aphra and him have come face to face since he thought he killed her by sending her into deep space. But now issue 12 is gonna be off the chain, yo. So
off the chain, he says.
Yeah, it felt like, because I believe in the first issue of this storyline they revealed that 000 contacted Vader. So now it's finally coming. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen.
I Instagrammed while you were doing that.
That's great.
Because that's what
making it happen.
We want to Instagram. You're not done talking yet.
I'm not done talking. Holo News.
Boop, boop, boop. Live from Coruscant.
First up.
Pew, pew,
First
pew.
story.
Oh.
Entertainment Weekly. Have we talked about this yet? There is, if you're watching us on YouTube, there is the epic cover of Mark Hamill as Luke, just being like, wow, it's just great. I mean, it's just a hood, and he's just looking ominous. And then Last Jedi ? So that's cool. Definitely want to still pick this up. But if you have the internet, you can see all these pictures, which we've seen most of. One of the big thing was that we want to put in the news was the Praetorian Guard, which I mentioned earlier. Now we've seen them, and they're similar to like the Emperor's personal guard that we saw in last Return of the Jedi. But it looks like they're way more mobile. So we definitely get the sense that they are going to be actively fighting in this. Apparently Rian Johnson wanted them styled after sort of samurai. So if you've seen them, it's sort of, they've got cool, it's armor, but it's like shells. It almost looks like a beetle. But yeah, I can definitely see the samurai. So what I hypothesize is that when we see Daisy Ridley fighting it out in that one... what do you call it?
You haven't seen Sizzle Reel?
The sizzle reel. Thank you. The sizzle reel that she's fighting probably them, but hopefully also the Knights of Ren. But we'll see. Next story. Boom, boom, boom. Princess Leia had a PhD. Now this was not a new reveal. Apparently, I think George Lucas wrote in his synopsis or in an interview or something like that about Leia that she's a smart woman. She's independent. She's she's been in battles. She can shoot a gun. She can guide. She can lead a group. She can fly a plane. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Fly a plane. Fly a starship. But also she's a politician and a humanitarian. But also she has her PhD. I think she's supposed to be 19 in this. That by the time we meet her in A New Hope, she has a full PhD. She is She is Dr. Organa, and it just was brought up again. Realized recently, oh, that's crazy. So that's pretty much the story. But it's never been really pulled out. But yeah, that's kind of neat. But we don't know what a PhD really means in the galaxy far away. We don't know how long it takes to do.
Porgs.
Donald Glover talks about Lando Calrissian. Also on Han Solo in general. Donald Glover recently was doing an interview with, I forget which thing. I don't have my
Hollywood Reporter, I think.
Thank you, Hollywood Reporter. Thank you, James. Talking about the movie and just what he's doing right now. And of course the Lord Miller firing was brought up, and apparently his response was he felt like he was the last to know anything because it's sort of he's the younger actor or not. I don't think he was the younger actor, but it's just, he said it felt like being part of a divorce where he's the youngest child and like the people that know what's going on are trying to not tell him so he's not unaware. It was just very weird. Like it was like, you know, we've talked about Woody Harrelson where it's like it was all good. It just happened. That's just the way it works. So Donald Glover had a different reaction to it. So, but he's still positive. I was like, there's a lot of cool things happening. And then I think it wasn't so much he's taking a side. It's just, it was a confusing,
I think Donald Glover also comes from a different, Woody Harrelson has been in the business for 30 years doing it. I mean, he's Woody on Cheers. He's been doing it for so long that he's been in movies where directors have been fired, no question, right? Whereas Donald Glover, you know, he's still kind of new in the industry, and if you look at everything he's done, he has been the driving force of everything he does.
He's been a self-starter.
So he probably saw Laura and Miller do their thing. He's like, I get this. And then like going, he goes, I don't understand what's going on.
He mentions that like it kind of made him question what they've shot so far, because it's like, well, now they have to like go by the way Ron Howard wants to do things, which is not a bad thing, but it's like, well, does everything we did before now get erased? So,
well, they still have the same cinematographer. I can't remember his name, but he did Arrival. He's very,
but it's more of like how he's acting. It's like, should I do my charter differently?
Which is the question, because all in Eric, they said it was a very Ace Ventura performance. And here's, sorry, side akbar on this one with a picture of Donald Glover up there. But the reports I feel so bad for Aaron Reich here.
Yeah.
Because he's coming in, he pressure on him. Nobody's going to like him. That's just how it is. Like he has to win you over, right?
Yeah.
We already don't like him as Han Solo. I mean, I'm fine with him, but whatever. So he's got this huge responsibility. These directors come in, they make him take the character in a certain direction. Disney sees the dailies. They're like, he's not doing what we need. Here's an acting coach. Then he says, no. This is what I think happened. He says, no. Listen, give me the acting coach, fine. But they're making me do this performance. This is not my performance. This is their performance. And I think that's when the whole thing started to spiral out of control.
Yeah.
It was based on that. And I could be way off. But
to add on to that, he met with Billy D. Williams for our next story. So just put that up there. Met with Billy D. Williams, and he came at Billy D. Williams saying like, oh, the character's this and that and this and that. And then Billy D. Williams just like, sure, just be charming. But more importantly for this story, apparently...
I love just be charming.
That's how the mention of Donald Glover in this article was. Yes. So I just figured I'd do that first. But Billy D. Williams apparently almost spoiled Star Wars for everyone, because you got to remember when he joined the franchise, he was, Lando Calrissian. You're kind of like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? But he's just a sort of
slicer. What?
Forced. Yeah, he's a slicer. He's forced to do what he has to do. So doing press for Empire Strikes Back before anyone has seen it, they're like, oh, you're supposed to be the bad guy that sells out. It's like, oh no, I'm not. Like, we're friends, and then this is gonna happen. And he basically spoils them. Like, I saved them because this happened. So apparently that happened, and he almost screwed it all up by like
one too many Colt 45.
Colt 45. But I get it, because it's sort of, he is kind of a bad guy. You're like, oh, he's You could put him in amongst like a Boba Fett sort of. They're like, oh, don't trust him. Do not trust him.
# he's my Two-Face.
Ooh la la. So that's all the news. What do we got next, James?
I don't know.
Top 5. You wanted it. You asked for it. You got it. Top 5. What is our top 5 today?
Today, top 5 images from Vanity Fair / Entertainment Weekly, whatever ones you want.
I did not remember to write everything down. But anyways, let's do this.
My number 5 is the very first look of Luke and Rey outside of the Bumblebee hut.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the same thing as me. My number 5 is the first official look at Snoke. Because as great as it is,
been in one of those magazines.
Damn it! I thought we were counting that as well.
That was a leak.
Oh, whatever. It's a professionally done picture.
That is a digital. That's just some guy on his computer at home. What I can do.
Yeah, he's actually one of those caretakers.
Yeah. All right. Go on. Snoke. Okay.
But yeah, just like you guys, is like, yeah, okay. Like he doesn't look like a hologram anymore.
But Snoke is going to be 100% CG. So
yeah, cool. Whatevs.
There you go. What's your number 4?
My number 4 would have to be Porgs, because again, I don't want to get too excited about them because we don't know what's going to happen, but they're very, very cool. I like how there will be CG, but like there's a lot of practical with them, right? So they will be puppets. Also, some people are like, do Porgs blink? But apparently if you slow down the teaser trailer, you can see them blink like, you know how like lizards blink, where they have like, or crocodiles, they have like 2 layers of, because there's like these big eyes. Do those things ever close? It's like, no, but they have another thing that goes. So yeah. What was your number 4?
My number 4 is this one, if you can see it. It's this picture of Laura. Oh, you can't. Laura Dern and Princess Leia's silhouette.
Nice.
I think it's very telling that Leia is silhouetted here and Laura Dern is not. I actually do, because who was it? Somebody brought to our attention. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name right now. Yeah, that her collar is very similar to Snoke's collar. Look, that is an evil silhouette. Like, she's very Vader-esque in that. The silhouette is very.
Even though she's like full purple, lavender, or whatever.
No, I mean Leia.
Oh, Leia.
No, but there's in the article it does say that there's something to. Ryan Johnson says, I don't want to tip the hat too much, but I will say that the heat is immediately turned up on the resistance. Everybody put under pressure on the cooker. And so I think Laura Dern is really going to be like, she could be a turncoat, but I don't think they're going to go that far on that one. But that picture right there, I think that's a really, really cool picture.
Yep.
My number 3 is the picture of Rey and from Vanity Fair, where she's across Acho-To practicing her lightsaber.
Right, yeah.
It's very zen, like it's very like Tai Chi, you know. That's what it looks like. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the Caretakers, because I'm like, yeah. My list is basically like, oh, I had a reaction to it, so they're cool, and I want to know more. And I mean, we talked about earlier. That's the same reason, you know, like he's not alone, and there's probably tons of things living on this this planet that we don't know about. So,
my number 2, Caretakers. Because they're awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait for I am looking forward to the Caretakers. I want the Caretaker Village from Toys R Us. Yeah. I want Caretaker Elite Series, Black Series, Funko Pop, everything. I want them.
My number 2 is similar to my number 3. It's the cast of Canto Bight, the casino, because it's just like, ooh, what are all these characters? At one point, I'm like, is that oh God. What's the things from Return of the Jedi? It's like Bothans, like the one sort of lion horse character. It's not a Bothan, but I was like, is this a Bothan? Because like that would be amazing. It doesn't have to be an important character, but just what we've seen and just that Vanity Fair, that spread, it was like a 2-pager of just, you're like, wow. So, what's your number 1?
My number 1.
Yeah.
Porg in the Millennium Falcon. I love it. I saw it. I was like, the Porg was my rabbit. And then I was like, this is awesome because the Porgs, you know, they're not just going to be on the island. They're going to come in the Falcon and cause a ruckus for Chewie. And I think it is going to be as amazing as the ruckus that C-3PO causes for Chewbacca in The Empire Strikes Back. That is the lighthearted moments. You cut that in between Luke being a jerk to Rey, and you're going to be like, this is awesome. I want more Porgs in my life. Porgs on Ice Capades, bring it. I'm going there.
My number 1 also includes the Millennium Falcon. It's the 2-page spread with Rey and Chewbacca sitting in the cockpit of Millennium Falcon with what we assume is Acho-To in the background.
That's my post.
I'm like, I've said it before. I would love that as a prince, and I would like it to be right here. It's just beautiful.
No, the Porg one's going here.
It's just, I'm like, yeah, like everything about it is cool. Like, I'm like, forget the Jedi stuff. Let's go on a cool space adventure with Rey and Chewbacca and see what happens. Like, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's a well done. It's, you know, it's,
well, that's a.
I was going to say Ann Getty, but that's not right. Who's the photographer for the Vanity Fair one? Oh, God.
It's a professionally done photo. It's fantastic.
She does it every year. Anyways, she does a really good style of shooting.
You can't expect, or you can't hope for anything else you're going to get. It's fantastic stuff. That's our top 5 for the 54th episode of the Rebel Scum podcast.
Wow.
We've been doing this for a long time. We got some cool stuff coming up for you. New episode coming later on this week. Ooh. And what else we have coming up? You're going to Mexico.
Yeah.
You leave soon. No, you don't leave for a while. A week?
A week from tomorrow.
We might Skype from Mexico. But
from the beach.
The internet probably won't work.
I will. James will still be here.
Well, it's going to be over Skype.
Yeah.
Is anything else you want to talk about? Anything else?
No. I mean, check out our YouTube page. Check out our T-shirts because we're still making new designs. Or who made the Nintendo cartridge? Was that you?
Yeah.
That was good.
Thanks. I was bored.
There's a cool shirt that James has designed. It's very cool.
I was just bored.
No, that's all you have to do. So yeah, thank you for listening or / watching, and tell us why we're right. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us what you think is going on with all the Entertainment Weekly stuff. Because wow.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite pictures that you've seen so far
have
been. All right, guys, that's everything. Brock, where can they find you?
At BS Mink on Instagram and Twitter, and that's it. Don't even think about Googling me.
Actually, don't. It's very bad. I did it once, and I regret it. My internet was shut down for a week. You can follow me at Petsafina at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, PS4, Nintendo. I don't know if you can follow Nintendo, but that is my name on Nintendo also. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Give us a thumb down if you did not like it. And
subscribe.
Subscribe if you want. Thanks. Our subscribers are going up. That's nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. May the force of others be with you.
Always.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.